There's so many students who have arrived already for January 2024 intake, and maybe you guys are wondering what are the things that you should do in your first year as an international student. So in this video, let's talk about that. And my name is Coach MC, and you are watching SLE Planner, where we help aspiring international students with an easy and actionable guide towards your Canadian dream. We have already shared the video what to do in your first month in Canada, but this time I'm gonna share with you your first year. Probably a lot of people are advising you to start working when you start the program, but for me, it will be the opposite. I would advise you to not work right away. I want you to focus on your program first. Assess what will be your workload, what will be your schedule like. Can you be able to handle studies and work? Because some programs in Canada are actually competitive. And I know that because some of my students in SLE are not actually working while they're studying. Some cannot handle it, which is understandable. It's the main reason why we have the proof of funds for the cost of living, because it really happens that, some students cannot handle both. And you always have to remind yourself that you go here as an international student, therefore, your studies will be your priority no matter what happens. And if you think that I can handle work and studies at the same time, then start looking for jobs. When you are looking for jobs in Canada, it's okay to start with survival jobs like working at the restaurant, or probably working at the store, sales representative at Home Depot, just like what I did. But don't get stuck with those jobs. If you feel like you have more skill set that you can actually use in Canada, start looking for a professional job while you're still studying. Because it's normal to feel the imposter syndrome, that you feel like, oh, I'm an international student. I don't think I will be able to get a professional job, like working at the office, a tier 2 job, for example. But marami na kaming estudyante sa SLE na they're able to get a professional job kasi marami na silang experience. So they have experience in the Middle East, in Singapore, that actually help them to get a proper job in Canada, which is aligned to their career path. You can actually listen to one of the episode in SLE, Kwentong Filipino-Canadian podcast. I actually interviewed one of my students in SLE, now a mentor for our aspiring students, and she's able to get a job. And she used to work in insurance industry way back in Qatar. And then when she moved to Canada, she's still working in the same industry, kahit na international student pa lang siya. And if you listen to that episode, one best advice that I got from Mentor Bernadette is that you need to start connecting with people. You need to start networking. That's the reason why she got that job, diba? So you have to put yourself out there. So in your first year, attend as many networking events as possible. My next tip for you guys is start working on the professional designation. This is especially for those people who are been working as an engineer, teachers, CPA way back in the Philippines or wherever you are right now. If you have a designation back home, try to research and try to get the assessment, get the equivalency here in Canada. We've made so many videos for teachers, for accountants, for nurses, and we have upcoming videos for IT professionals, for engineers, because this one really will help you land the job, even if you're still an international student. And also, not just land the job, get your permanent residency. There's an extra point for you to get if you have a professional designation here in Canada. If you don't know how this one works, like I don't know how I will process my teaching license or my CPA license, what's a CPA program, how can I transfer my license from the Philippines to Canada? And that's the main reason why SLE has so many mentors for you guys. We have CPAs, we have teachers, we also have engineers, IT professionals. Ask them try to connect with them and try to ask and gather information. How would you be able to get that designation? Makakatulong ang mga mentors sa inyo na maintindihan yung proseso. So while you're still an international student, you can start working on that. Don't wait until you graduate before you start your professional designation, 'di ba? Unless you need to really finish that program. But you can start gathering the documents that you will be needing for that assessment. And once you step your foot into your industry, nandyan ka na, nandun ka na sa entry-level job in your industry. And that's the time you have to research or you have to know your PR pathway. So for example, best example here, if you're a teacher. If you're a teacher, there is a way for you to immigrate here. In BCP&P, you only need 60 points. Compared with someone who's not a teacher, let's say an admin assistant, you will need 115 points. So if you're a teacher, you only need half of that, 60 points. So basically, you really need to start creating your BCP&P profile. Already shared a video about that here last week. Create your BCP&P profile, calculate your scores, diba? You can do that in your first year. You don't have to wait until you graduate before you will be able to identify if I will be invited for the permanent residency after I complete this program or after I got the designation. So before you graduate, you know and understand the process on how I will be able to settle here in Canada. So for teachers, sometimes you only need to finish the program, and when you are on your postgrad work permit, you can accept a full-time job offer. And that's one of the major requirements for the permanent residency. So you need to understand that now in your first year. Identify what are my ways to settle here. So do that in your first year. And this will lead me to my next point. Are you going to stay in that province? If you have already attended so many networking events, you are trying to understand the process of designation in that province, and you realize that you don't have the ways to stay there after graduation, think about it. In your first year, are you going to still gonna continue in your second year in that province, or are you moving to another school? Are you moving to another province after graduation? You have to finalize that in your first year. You'll know in your first 12 months if that province, if that area is going to fit you or not. Don't wait until you graduate. Don't wait until your postgrad work permit is expired. Actually, pwede mo naman gawin to even before you get to Canada. We've been doing this with our students before they get to Canada. Before they get that program, while we're searching for school or searching for province, we do this with our students. But what if you failed to do that while you're still outside Canada? Then you have the chance to do that this year, to do that in your first year. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comment section. Let me know your profession. Are you thinking to process your designation? Do you have any provinces in mind? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.